there's so much to still unpack from this Shedeur Sanders conversation, and I understand, he's going to make his first start tomorrow. We'll have more to sort of decipher after that happens, and I think there's at least some excitement about this game tomorrow because of that, and that's kind of where my head's at with this thing. I don't know where you were when Baker Mayfield was drafted here and then took over in that Thursday night game and wins that game against the Jets, leads this great comeback, and then the beer fridges all across town open up. But there was something magical about that night that just felt like, whoa, like this might be it. Like they might have their franchise quarterback. And I want to be clear. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm not going to guarantee anything in terms of what's going to happen tomorrow or that Shedeur is going to be that guy. I've liked Shedeur. It's well documented. I felt like he's a good fit for Kevin Stefanski's offense. I have felt like he's the more talented of the two quarterbacks on this roster. But listen, he may not pan out. We don't know. We have to see it on the field. But I hope that people are going into tomorrow with the optimism and hope that can be the case. Like, no matter how you feel about him, whether you've liked him from the beginning or not, whether or not you think he mishandled the draft process or you think he comes off as brash or whatever, I think it's just great confidence, which I wanted my franchise quarterback, frankly. But from the beginning, I've been saying he's done all the things that you would want a franchise quarterback to do. He's out in the community. He's helping people. He didn't have to do all that. He stayed here and was doing community events and practicing during the 6 weeks or the 4-ish to 6 weeks that the team was kind of off for summer. He stayed. To me, he's walked the walk of a franchise quarterback. He's doing all the right things. Think about the possibilities of if he's good at football, if it translates on the field, what that would mean for this franchise. You'd have a guy that is polarizing, that is exciting, that people want to talk about, that's a good quarterback for you, and he is doing all those extra things that you'd want from a franchise quarterback. It's the perfect situation that you've been longing for since this team came back since 99, that you thought you had with Baker Mayfield, and then that obviously went out the window in 2022 when they traded for Deshaun. But this could be something special if and that's what I'm saying. I hope people leave room for is that same feeling you got that Thursday night game when Baker took over and won. I hope people are still have the ability to allow those emotions to take over if that happens tomorrow. I'm not saying it's going to mean he's for sure is it, but if he plays well tomorrow, man, there's a world where the Browns aren't looking for a franchise quarterback anymore, and that tomorrow is the start of that. If he plays well enough to keep this job, that very well could be the case. So I hope that people have at least, in their wildest dreams, pictured maybe this is the last time we need a quarterback. And that's where I think Browns fans can't agree. Yeah. If you're a true Browns fan, all you want is a quarterback that's going to play good. Whether it's Dillon, whether it's Shedeur, whatever, you want that franchise quarterback. If somebody takes those reins and runs with it, I would hope and I would think that everybody would be accepting of that and be so ecstatic about the possibilities here.
This whole season, and really since they drafted Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders, it's just been one big suckfest of arguing, of sabotaging, of Repgate, of this and that, and they were throwing the ball boys and all this different stuff. Last week when he came in, and really right before he came into the game, hand to God, I had fallen asleep at halftime of the game. And my buddy,
if that's not a metaphor for the state of the Cleveland Browns right now, I don't know what is.
And I was on last week with Padone saying, I'm not excited to watch this game. It is now, we have reached the chore level of the Browns season where, I have to do this. And if I wasn't an avid sports fan, or if I wasn't on a talk show station, I don't know how closely I would pay attention to it. You put it on the bottom TV and just keep an eye on it. We've reached that sort of part of the season. And I've come on here since March, since January, and said, look, I don't think Shedeur's that good. I don't think he's the guy. But who cares? You have a little bit of excitement, even if it's a polarizing excitement. The eyes of the NFL will be on you, finally, for something good other than Deshaun Watson and Myles Garrett ripping your franchise on Radio Row. So in theory, and look, he might go out and suck, and it might be a repeat of last Sunday where
and then we're going back to Dillon next week probably.
Right, where the entire internet just blows up on you and they go, whoa, maybe he really isn't that good. And, all these different stuff about him showing up with a boombox and, the staff from Tony Brown and all this different stuff. Like, I just want people to put the argument aside because we've been so addicted to it of this quarterback and that quarterback. And we all know the most popular person in Cleveland is the backup quarterback. It always has been. And in many ways, it always will be. You can pause all those arguments a little bit. You can pause those game day arguments with your friends at the bar while you're watching the game being like, you know what? Let's just all poll collectively, which is what we should have done for Dillon Gabriel his first start, but I know that we were still stuck in the argument. Like, this might be his only opportunity to start a game for the Browns. So let's just see how it goes. And if if he is so disastrously bad, then okay, we have our answer. And if he plays well, great, he'll start next week. And if it's somewhere in the middle, then I don't know, we'll see from there.
Yeah, and that's where I think the middle ground is supposed to be, by the way. Like, we talked about the middle ground thing and how there's just none with Shedeur. It's either you're for him or you're against him, and it's this like you said, this ongoing conversation week over week. Like, rah, 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 Shedeur Sanders, rah, 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 Dillon Gabriel, rah, 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 Shedeur stinks, or rah, rah, Shedeur's good. Like, we never can just, agree. But I think the place where everybody in this fan base should be willing to come together and, like I said, stand in that circle and sing Kumbaya with each other, the place that where that lives is, what if this is our franchise quarterback? That's the thing that tomorrow should be. Tomorrow should be this hope and this dream and something that you're actually excited about with this Browns team, that maybe, just maybe, this is the guy. And yeah, they took him in the 5th round. And yeah, the odds are against him because 5th-round picks don't turn out to be franchise quarterbacks. And yeah, there's certainly some concerns in his game that he has to sort of work through. But if he goes out and plays well, and it looks like, again, so if it's a thrilling sort of moment in time and moment in sports history for Cleveland, like that Thursday night game with Baker Mayfield was, I hope that everybody can come and gather together and put aside the, well, hey, there was that one drive where he drifted in the pocket, like, that's still an issue. And they can just be like, listen, I have hope that there's something there after the way he played yesterday. Like, I hope these are the conversations we're having on Monday, where it's like, for the first time in a while, I feel like the Browns might actually have a franchise quarterback. And that's all Browns fans tell me they want. So if that's how you feel, the common ground that everybody should be able to find is, what if it should just be about going into tomorrow with the optimism that maybe, just maybe, this guy will be the answer to that question that they've had for 2+ decades now since they came back in 99.
Yeah, and if he sucks, then okay. We spent a 5th-round pick on him. We'll go back to Dillon Gabriel. The team's 2-8 anyways. You have 2 first-round picks. You got plenty of bridge quarterbacks if you want to go that route. It should be a no-lose situation tomorrow. You should either have an exciting game with the potential that you can bank on this guy to finish out the end of the year, and then you have something to build on, and he can convince you to not draft a quarterback next year, or you just wasted a 5th-round pick, and who cares, because you have a million of them anyways.
Yeah, well, or it solidifies that if he doesn't play well, it solidifies, okay, we probably need to look at quarterback next year. You know what I mean?
It's just another notch in that move on from Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski. You can win your argument about what the Browns are, but we've been so lost in the sauce this entire year that it's like nobody's really, because the Browns have been so hard to watch, you just become this Dillon or Shedeur fan, and it's like, well, you lose the idea that you want them to win games because we haven't felt that in so damn long.
And you bring up like the Stefanski-Berry job security thing, by the way. Like, there's another level to that, which is if Shedeur plays well and he plays for the next however many games coming up here, does that then open this window where you can, like, where those guys save their, it would absolutely, I think, save their jobs, right? Like, if that's even a question, it saves their jobs. But listen, I think it would save their jobs in a way where fans could sort of get re-excited about this regime, because you could finally say, oh, maybe Kevin Stefanski can develop a quarterback. Because right now you have like answers to none of these things. And right now everyone's looking and saying the quarterback that he wanted was Dillon Gabriel, and we haven't seen a lot of progress from him just yet. So can he develop quarterbacks? But if you see Shedeur play better and shake some of those things that have plagued him throughout his career and that were on the tape when he entered the NFL, then like all of a sudden it's like, oh, they're coaching some of this out of him. That's good. So it's a good thing for everybody. And I do think in general, like I think most Browns fans feel like they'd rather have stability with their head coach and GM. It's just whether or not you think like this specific tandem of people has sort of run its course here. And some people are already out on Stefanski and they're like, I'm done, I'm good, I don't need to see anymore. And that's fair. But like I think it brings everybody back to the conversation and back to the table if Shedeur just plays well. You answer a lot of questions, you keep jobs intact, and you can sort of keep that stability moving forward. You don't have to go through all this change and turmoil and all that stuff in the offseason of what it would look like to hire new people to come run this thing. So I think that's another part of this. Like it's a good thing for everybody involved. And so I hope that Browns fans can at least find the common ground in that, if that makes sense.